looks like we have
All right.
Icon from Canada, he, him pronouns. And it says here you're agnostic, but you just got a message from God. Could you expand on that for us real quick?
It happened on Friday, but the reason I was calling is to figure out what the best way to give a message from God to the world is. I just don't know how to proceed.
Yeah. So the first thing I would do is I would say, how did you determine beyond a shadow of reasonable doubt that the message came from God? Because I think that would be super, super crucial. Like, I know myself, I would, if somebody said, hey, I got a message from God, that's the first thought that comes to my mind is, how do we know it was a deity? What did you do to kind of tamp down those variables?
It's not, you know what? There's not been a lot of variable checking. It was, it's Friday, having a shower.
Do you think that's problematic, Icon?
Well, we can talk about it now. Like, I had a clear and like concise message. It
right.
came to me.
Are you able to tell us? Can you tell us the message?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Sure.
I mean, this is at least a decent way to do it. I mean,
so the thing, and I don't want to bring in any personal opinion, like my take on the message. It's what the message was. And it was just a straight, concise, all religions are man-made.
And that proves God?
No, it doesn't prove God. It's just, it's a message from
you got
I don't know,
message from God that religion is man-made.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate?
To get this message out. Yeah. No, I can't elaborate because it's just those words. I mean, I can tell you what I think, but I don't want to think. I don't want to speak.
I want to play a little game with you real quick. And SR knows exactly the game that I'm about to play. All right. So you got this message. Can you describe to me the experience of this message that you got? How did you receive it?
I heard it like a audible.
Okay.
Religion is man-made.
What were you doing at the time that this happened?
I was in the shower. I was doing my hair and stuff. But I was in the shower. I got the message. I hopped out.
Okay.
I thought about it. I started spitballing ideas and stuff like that. I just don't know.
So did anything meaningful happen in your life during that day? You said it was Friday. You were in the shower. Was this kind of at the end of the day, more towards the beginning of the day?
It was like a middle of the day.
Okay. Anything memorable happen during the day? Was it more of a lazy day? Did you have a lot of things happen at work? Like, kind of how did your day go? What was your mindset as you were doing this?
I had no responsibilities that day. I smoked a big bowl. I hopped in the shower. I was washing my hair.
Okay.
Message from God. Got out of the shower.
You smoked the bowl before taking the shower?
Always. Who would shower without smoking a bowl?
So the story we got so far is that you were having kind of a lazy day at home. You decided you wanted to take a shower during the middle of the day. You ended up smoking a bowl, jumping in the shower, and you were given this message from God. So the next bit, I want to just have an open discussion here. And
man-made.
Yeah, so I'm trying to narrow down, and this is not me saying that you're wrong. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong because I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. It could very well be that you received this message, but I just want to open our minds to the possibility that something else might have happened here. So is there anything else that you can think of that might have caused you to hear this message?
No, and you know what? I'm almost insulated against stuff like this. I've got this condition called aphantasia, where my mind's eye is blind, so I can't actually imagine things.
Do you think have a diagnosis of that, Icon? You've been to a neurologist that has looked at you and given you a diagnosis of that?
I'm not officially diagnosed, but it
okay.
It is
well, I think we should always be cautious about saying that we have certain neurological conditions without actually having that diagnosis. I just want to point back to this real quick. Just hang on, Icon. Hang on. I just want to say that I really can get off this train very quickly. because you told me you had an auditory hallucination after doing drugs, which I'm not saying that isn't okay. I'm not endorsing it either. What I'm just saying is, if somebody comes up to me and says, I've been microdosing for the last 4 days and this is my experience, well, bro, you're high. And that's okay. Again, just don't, it's not worth going through much else, in my opinion. You know, hearing
And that's
more,
exactly where I was
right. I
going
know,
with
I know.
this.
And that was the thing is like, again, we started off the call by just asking the most basic question, which is, what did you do to kind of rein in those variables to actually indicate, you know, what you think the conclusion is? And the problem is, you already said you didn't do anything. And then on top of that, you said, oh, by the way, man, smoked a fat doobie in the process beforehand. And then I experienced a very common side effect of having used marijuana. When individuals ingest THC, auditory and visual hallucinations, they happen, and they happen regularly. And again, it's fine that you had the experience. I'm not saying you didn't have the experience, but the issue is that experience anything more than the amazing ability of chemicals to make our brains do awesomely funny things? And the answer is, especially if we haven't tamped down any of the variables, yeah, it's probably not anything more than that.
And this is
go ahead.
This is why I take this approach the way that I do, because brains work in very funny ways. And oftentimes we use intuition to go straight from point A to point C without really considering, how did we get to point C? What were the steps that I had to get? Because you don't just go directly from cause to effect. There are steps that have to happen in order to get us there. And so this is a technique in medicine. A lot of times you get somebody coming in with a certain set of symptoms. They say, hey, my head hurts. And that opens up, like, there's a whole lot of possibilities there. If someone says their head hurts, I can think of 50 plus things off the top of my head why their head might hurt. And then you start asking them some questions like, okay, what were you doing when, like, before your head hurt? Like, oh, I fell off my bike and hit the ground. And that kind of narrows things down a little bit to where it was this nebulous question of, oh, my head hurts. It must be that an alien invaded my brain. Well, no, but we just established another reasonable option. And so I'm not saying necessarily that you have to throw out what you believe your experience to be, but I want you to maybe, after this call, think through as many reasons as you can think of. What could have caused me to have this experience? Such as, we have your reason of God spoke to me. That's an option. We don't have to throw it out. We have influence from THC. That is another option. We have maybe there was a noise that I heard from somebody else talking upstairs, and I forgot that my sister was upstairs. Like, just think of anything off the top of your head that might have influenced this, and then go through, figure out, what would I have to do to demonstrate that this one is or is not that particular thing? What would I have to do to say, okay, it was not my sister talking to me from upstairs? Well, I don't have a sister, so that one's off the list. But I think you can take this process and pretty logically rule in and rule out ideas. And then that way, the next time you have this conversation, if you are correct and that God did talk to you, you now have a case for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect place to leave it, Ben. We're gonna let you go, Icon, but we appreciate you calling us. And again, please check out all of those fan run Facebook pages and the Discord server and stuff, and feel free to still interact and kind of push back and stuff. But Ben, I mean, I think exactly where you were going with that methodology of trying to, exactly what I said from the beginning. We got to tamp down those variables, man. We just can't have it be like 14 different possibilities and then come to a conclusion. We got to have an actual step-by-step process here.